Hey Warpugs, so this was requested by Tornado Hurricane. It is the oldest 40k request, and this is about the Alpha Legion. I am Alfarius. If you guys didn't know, you are also Alfarius. The cat is Alfarius. Both of my pugs that are female are Alfarius, and the male is Alfarius. The bugs outside are Alfarius. Alfarius is everywhere, and Alfarius is in your walls. Prophet is Alfarius, so is Hobbit. Guys, the Alpha Legion is everywhere. That is just one thing to know. Tornado Hurricane, the person who requested this, is Alfarius. Now, why would the Alpha Legion be set to rise? Well, Lord Rho is going to tell us that. And guys, if you haven't subscribed to Wolf Lord Rho yet, please go ahead and do so. I'm going to have the links to this video down in the description below, as well as any other links he has ready that he wants to share. And mine are going to be down there as well. Join the channel as a member, or join the Patreon. Let's jump right into this. Return of the Hydra. Let's go.
Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Today we ask if the Alpha Legion are the greatest traitor legion of the current era.
Are they traitors?
General spoiler warning to begin, as the events we're discussing today are from across the Warhammer 40k universe. So you have been warned, and with that said, let's just jump straight in.
Go for it.
In terms of the greatest legion, it's always something that'll simply be swayed by your own personal affections.
True.
In the Great Crusade era, the Sons of Horus had the best record. However, you'll always find a caveat for your own loyalties. Guilliman had the largest legion, for example. The star-spanning empire of Ultramar. The Space Wolves were the Emperor's executioner. The Dark Angels the first. Etc, etc. In the 40k era, only the
But were they?
traitor legions still survive, and some largely in name only. In terms of scope and sheer power, Abaddon's Black Legion is simply in truth unmatchable. The numbers beneath his banner rumoured to be stretching into the millions. Such is their unparalleled might, the Black Legion are the very symbol of Chaos Space Marines. Though
Honestly, that number stretching into the millions, I'm not sure how much I believe that. I don't think there's that many Chaos Space Marines, period. I don't think that you could. Now, if we're talking about numbers of everything, yes, that would be rational. But when we're looking at Chaos Space Marines, because most Chaos Space Marines are still left over from the Horus Heresy. I'm just saying, and it's not likely.
I have to admit, I've always felt Abaddon is vital to the Legion's continuation. Too vital. If he were to fall, I could see the Black Legion shattering far more easily than others.
Oh yeah.
However, today, I wanted to continue the impromptu focus this week on the Alpha Legion by giving them their own fair share of recognition, and making a case that they, in their own way, are the greatest traitor legion of the 40k era. Now, as I've said before, I'm not actually that much of a fan of the 30k era Alpha Legion. If I was to try the impossible task of ranking all the legions, I'd probably have the Alpha Legion very near the bottom.
I wouldn't.
Quite possibly the bottom. Yet maybe because they've benefited from an absolutely great couple of 40k era novels in Shroud of Night and Renegade's Harrowmaster, I can't say the same for them now. The Alpha Legion alone are the only legion to not seek refuge in the Eye of Terror after the
Very
heresy.
true.
Yes, they have fallen into individual warbands since. Yes, their full fighting strength is unknown. You would assume far less than it used to be. But the simple fact is, they have survived. They have survived without seeking refuge within the Eye of Terror. And that's really an accomplishment that should absolutely not be overlooked.
In no way, shape, or form should that be overlooked. You gotta remember, it's one thing to say that, it's another thing to understand that. They survived every era of the Imperium thus far without going for any kind of protection. They survived the Scouring, they survived the Age of Blood, the Age of Apostasy, they survived every single major war and had a hand in several major wars. They have survived during every single major crusade, and they've done it all right underneath the nose of the Imperium.
10,000 years of the Imperium's history, the Alpha Legion has been hidden and operating within its borders. While all their traitor kin were largely cowering within the Eye, including Abaddon, the Alpha Legion was still active within the Imperium. Whether you love the Alpha Legion or hate them, you've got to recognize how great an accomplishment that is. And they alone have achieved it. And while honestly, yes, they are probably a fraction of their one-time Legion might,
Doubt
when
it.
it comes to the Alpha Legion, can we really say for sure? Can we really say with absolute confidence that they are nothing more than a few shattered warbands?
Doubt it.
That they didn't disperse into separate forces across the stars by order of their Primarch? The truth is, no, we can't. As ever with the Alpha Legion, we have absolutely no idea how strong they remain, how many cells or warbands or factions they really have out across the galaxy. And as of yet, until we get the answers during the Scouring series, we don't really know what was the downfall of the Legion. And the truth could be rather surprising. As an example, let's discuss something I touched upon in the previous upload.
You see, the thing about it is, I honestly think that the Alpha Legion has remained loyal this entire time. The Alpha Legion, their entire shtick was their whole shtick was to turn on someone, to basically, when they revealed their hand, the shift in fortunes would be so massive, it would be crippling. They cripple from inside. I don't know. My brain is doing a backflip.
The Alpha Legion base of operations in the Ultima Segmentum, the Unseen. Now, the Unseen is a fusion of ships and vessels from all kinds of factions across the galaxy, all welded together by the Alpha Legion to make a stable space station of sorts, the size of a small space hulk. And in the grand scheme of things, you may think or say that's hardly a formidable display of power. And hey, you would be right to do so. It hardly compares to, say, the plague planet of Mortarion, for example. However, it's far more what the Unseen represents. Here, hidden within an asteroid belt, somewhere within the Ultima Segmentum, the Alpha Legion have had a base of operations. A sizable base of operations within the Imperium.
Yep.
For most likely centuries. All right under the oblivious Imperium's nose. The Alpha Legion haven't had to flee to the Eye anytime they've needed resupply. They haven't had to risk bartering or contacting their traitor kin. They haven't had to rely on renegade Marines from Imperial chapters to refill their numbers. They have had a stable base where the Alpha Legion alone operate, most likely only know about. It's neutral territory for all Alpha Legion warbands, where they've even had a Dark Mechanicum Magos working with their gene seed, keeping the numbers of the warbands active. It's kind of remarkable to think about, and really something only the Alpha Legion could pull off.
True.
I mean, it's the equivalent of a chapter's fortress monastery. And the real key is that we know the Unseen isn't alone, thanks to this small passage from Renegade's Harrowmaster. It had long ago, by dint of some unrecorded agreement between powerful warlords, been designated as neutral ground, and not for the use of any one individual. So it was that one of the greatest strongholds of the Alpha Legion, in the records that Solomon knew of, lay within an asteroid cluster on a decades-long orbit around their parent star. It was here that the warbands gathered, on the infrequent occasions that they came together, and it was here that certain of the Alpha Legion's retainers, resources, and associates remained. Now, that is a seemingly unimportant piece of information that actually relays one incredibly important fact. So it was that one of the greatest strongholds of the Alpha Legion, in the records Solomon knew of, lay within an asteroid cluster. One of. The Unseen is clearly not the only substantial base for the Alpha Legion within the Imperium's territory.
There you go.
And it's worth noting here that we're not talking simply about Imperium Nihilus, where chaos is now everywhere. The Unseen was within Imperium Sanctus, within the so-called stable and strong Imperium. So it could be very likely the other substantial Alpha Legion bases are as well. That is a huge advantage for the Alpha Legion to have.
It's actually quite nasty when you think about it. And it's also falling in line exactly with what the Alpha Legion would and could do.
What's more, the Unseen is equipped with engines, now capable of warp travel. So even when discovered, it's capable of simply relocating to somewhere else. And in being created out of various faction technology, it employs the advantages of those races, Tau railgun weaponry for example. So these hubs for the Alpha Legion, while perhaps small in the grand scale of things, again are punching far above their weight in every manner.
Yep.
Another huge advantage for the Alpha Legion is their immense network of spies and infiltration. They have been able to infiltrate every area of the Imperium. They have left assassins' heads hanging in the Imperial Palace itself. And if that wasn't bad enough, we know they have infiltrated the Inquisition, the Imperium's agency, accountable only to the Emperor, intended to root out and protect the Imperium from the threats without and within.
The sheer fact of the matter is the Alpha Legion, I hate when they're put in the hands of an author that cannot encapsulate just how ridiculous they are. Like, the utter insanity of how ridiculous they are. You can't even begin to... I've made the comparison before. It's either the best thing you've ever read about like a spy movie, or it's Dick Dastardly from Wacky Racers. One of the two. And it annoys me when people write them wrong. Just like it annoys me when people write Perturabo wrong.
And it's been infiltrated itself by the Alpha Legion. Of course, the Inquisition itself isn't an organization in the traditional sense, more a multitude of independently acting inquisitors. However, with inquisitors' teams being jeopardized, even inquisitors themselves, not only does it make a mockery of the whole system, but also means every action of the Inquisition has to come into question, as if it didn't already. When you've got Inquisitors who can command any Imperial force, who can direct Astartes chapters, remove planetary governors at a whim, it makes the Alpha Legion a truly terrifying prospect for the Imperium.
But why didn't they go and relieve Hermann von Straub? That's always the question that I have in my head.
And doubly so when you realise they can do it all without even having to fire a bolter. So, the Alpha Legion have surprising weight and advantages within the Imperium. They have hidden, stable bases of operations. And again, I can't stress the word stable enough when it comes to traitor Astartes. They have infiltrated terrifying levels of the Imperium's hierarchy. Its power. The only thing really going against them is their unity. Separate warbands over a true unified legion.
The Alpha Legion also has buried several hundred, if not thousands, of Astartes on Terra itself, waiting to be reactivated. They could still be there now. We don't know.
And yes, that's true. However, it could well change in the future. Because as of the end of the novel Renegade's Harrowmaster, the newly appointed Harrowmaster, the leader of the Ultima Segmentum warbands, is a Marine by the name of Solomon Akura. And he, using the successful infiltration of the Inquisition, has reformed the Pale Spear. The Spear of Alfarius.
Oh.
The one he used in the infamous duel with Rogel Dawn, where Alfarius lost his life.
Was it
It's worth
Alfarius?
noting Solomon only had the pieces of the blades, and reformed it from that, with the Inquisition still retaining the original shaft of the spear. However, it's a clearly extremely powerful symbol for the Alpha Legion, and quite possibly a very unifying one. Solomon's already begun unifying the warbands beneath his rule, as the Ghost Legion. It's not a stretch to say this could well continue into the future, with the various Alpha Legion warbands truly beginning to resume more of a Legion command structure. So it all leaves the Alpha Legion very well poised for the immediate future. And I haven't even got onto the fact of the topic we discussed last. The fact that the Alpha Legion could very well have their own Primaris Marines being produced.
Yep.
If you missed that upload, go back and give it a listen. They have slain Primaris corpses upon their base of the Unseen. And a Dark Mechanicum Magos who bears incredibly similar traits to Belisarius established there, who has worked with their gene seed over the centuries. It's a logical assumption he would seek to copy this design himself, and I would be more surprised if we didn't see this happen. So you have to say, for all the might of the Black Legion, the Death Guard, the future of the Alpha Legion looks incredibly bright, and maybe, just maybe, could be the beginning of a return to the Legion of old. But as always everyone, what do you think? What do you think of the current strength of the Alpha Legion? Though they are separated into warbands, do you think, like me, they have several advantages going for them? Will they seek to create Primaris from the templates that they have? Will Solomon be able to unify more warbands beneath his banner of the Ghost Legion? And considering their infiltration of the Imperium's hierarchy, are they really established better than many of their fellow traitor Legion kin?
Oh, massively.
While the likes of Abaddon and Mortarion have to rely on brute force, is the Alpha Legion's speciality of infiltration the real masterstroke within the current galaxy? As always everyone, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Huge thank you to all my subscribers, your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. If you're new...
Warpugs, This is the thing about the Alpha Legion. I do not believe that they're traitors. I do not believe the Alpha Legion are traitors. I have not believed they are traitors ever since I read Legion. And the reason I don't believe that they are traitors is because of the Alpha Legion style of warfare. And how several times they were shown to use sleeper agents, sleeper knowledge, everything like that. It's not going to surprise me. Now, I'd be exceptionally thrilled if it was to happen like this, but it's not going to surprise me if something occurs in the next few years of the storyline progressing forward in 40k where a code word isn't transmitted to the Alpha Legion and all of its successor chapters at large, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's on, and the Alpha Legion turns on Abaddon and the rest of the traitor forces. It would not surprise me. I would think it was the best thing I'd ever read. Warpugs, I'm gonna head out from here. Wolf Lord Rho's links are in the description down below. Again, so are mine. I highly encourage you to check him out. The Alpha Legion in of itself, as I have said several times, can either be one of the best legions to read about or the worst. And their current strength in the 40k universe, I'm going to go ahead and say, considering their levels of engagement, how frequently and unfrequently they have engaged, and the fact that they've been in real space this entire time, and there is no question they have been recruiting. There is no question they have been doing what they feel they need to do. I would estimate the Alpha Legion is far above Legion strength right now. I would estimate that in its entirety. And when they strike, it's going to be with the power of a Hydra. Warpugs, I will catch you guys next time. And for the last time, I am Alfarius.